Good afternoon, Central Georgia. I'm meteorologist Jordan West, or I guess it's good evening, making sure my mic is on. We are under another severe thunderstorm warning, and that is in effect for Jasper County and Putnam County, and then we have Greene County, Morgan County, Oconee County, and then some of those counties are out of a 13 WMAZ viewing area. Still got a lot of rain to get through and talk about, so let's keep on going. All right, so looks like with this system, it's more than likely some hail associated with it because we do not have that tornado possible sign. Let's check the hail size and nothing, surprisingly. All right, so it might be very strong straight line winds. So let's go back to the radar. Here we are. Okay. And I'm going to see what this warning is about. Looks like we will see wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And it seems to just be a lot of lightning and strong straight line winds associated with it. They said torrential rainfall is occurring with these storms and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through roadways. But it does not look like we are seeing a hail core within these systems moving on through. And this is just the start of things. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. And forgive me again if I'm a little sluggish. I've been here since 1 this afternoon, and I was here earlier this morning around 7, but we're going to make it work. All right, zooming out a little bit. So in case you guys aren't aware, the green polygons, the green circles, not really circles, but green polygons are flash flood warnings. So in those areas, we've already seen lots of rain, and because the rain has saturated the ground and it is moist, any rain that falls now is just going to lay on top, and that's how that flooding occurs. So take that very seriously, especially for places like Monroe County, Lamar County, and Upson County, where you guys have just been seeing nonstop rain for close to 24 hours now, right? So moving eastward, it looks like the system is picking up speed a little bit, but just look at all the lightning associated with it. This is probably the most lightning I have seen since I've been in this area. But you definitely want to be indoors right now. I can imagine that most of you are. I mean, it is 12:30 in the morning, now Monday. No reason for you to really be outside, but if you are, don't. Stay indoors. I'm going to see if there's any other hail cores associated with the system, and it doesn't look like there's any, which is good news. Probably has to do with the temperatures dropping as we head into the early morning hours. Let's check the temperatures real quick. And these are the temperatures. And one thing I want to note, and let's see if I can draw on here. I can't, so we're just gonna have to, oh wait, I think I can draw on here. Okay. No, I can't. I can't draw on the temperature map. But notice where the green meets the yellow on this temperature map. See how it kind of curves a little bit? I'm gonna go into the camera so I can show you. See how the green meets the yellow right here? It comes up and it comes back down. That's where the front is. That's the stationary front. A front is a boundary between warmer air and cooler air. Typically with the warmer air, that moves northward and overpowers the cooler air, that's a warm front. When the cooler air overpowers the warm air, it's cold front. But when they meet in the middle and they're not moving, they're kind of in an equilibrium point. That's called a stationary front. And we're seeing that right now, hence why we're seeing so much rain over central Georgia as we speak. But going back into full screen, those temperatures are still rather warm. I think if the rain makes its way towards the 70s area, so towards the south and eastern portions of central Georgia, that's where we could see some hail development where it's warmer, like we saw earlier today. So this is the day one outlook. I think this is still technically for yesterday. Technically, because we're on a different time scale than the National Weather Service, I'm going to say that this is still in effect, even though it was technically for yesterday according to the graphic. So that being said, we are under a level 3 of 5 on our severe weather outlook. This includes large hail potential, although we're not seeing it now, tornado potential, although we're not seeing it now, and a very heavy rainfall, prompting flash flood warnings and flash flooding throughout central Georgia, and we are seeing that. So be careful out there if you are driving to or from work early in the morning or late at night. But going back to the radar, I'm going to open that up, and then I am going to go to the Facebook Live once again. I think this is my 4th or 5th live today. I'm having a hard time keeping track. Let's see. Someone asked about Crawford County. It looks like you guys are just seeing some light to moderate rain for now, but some strong thunderstorms are on your way. And this is honestly the case for the entirety of central Georgia. So for everybody that's asking, what about Dublin, Sandersville, Unadilla, whatever, this entire system is making its way southward, which means that that cooler air is starting to dominate a little bit. And as it moves southward, those thunderstorms that you see to the north are going to affect your area. So everybody has a good chance for rain as we head into the overnight hours. Obviously, the timings will be different. The closer you are to the rain already that you see on the map, the faster it will get to you. But it looks like we are under another severe thunderstorm warning. This is now affecting Monroe County, parts of Bibb County. So it's going to get real loud out here in Bibb County where the 13 WMAZ is. Also into Macon and Taylor County. Here, let's zoom in a little bit. So Crawford, Lamar, Monroe, and Upson County. And it should be Bibb County too. It's definitely in Bibb County. Maybe we ran out of space, but in Bibb County as well, all within a severe thunderstorm warning as this strong system makes its way southeastward. I'm checking to see if we see any more hail. Not much going on. Velocity signatures, looking for areas of rotation, and I simply don't see that, which is obviously good news. But we can get a better idea of where those warnings are now that all of that reflectivity is gone. I'm checking another velocity signature to see if we see any rotation, maybe in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and we still aren't seeing that. Same with the debris signatures. Just checking those to be as aware as possible. But this system is moving southeastward. Throughout the majority of the day, it was moving around 30 miles per hour. Let's see if I can see how fast it's going now. So it says maximum wind gusts are 60 miles per hour, but how fast is it going? Severe thunderstorm moving east at 60 miles per hour. Okay, so it's not only moving 60 miles per hour, but we're seeing gusts at 60 miles per hour as well. Let's see if I can track this now squall line and see where it's going to end up at what time. First time doing this, so let's see what happens. Not a straight line, but it's something. So it's moving 60 miles per hour. All right, here we go. So it will be around Lake Oconee at 12:43. If you're near Lake Oconee, make sure you take precautions and definitely be weather aware. You guys have probably already seen a lot of rain as it is. I can imagine the lake is very high right now. So if you live along the lake, just kind of be extra cautious. Have a plan to evacuate if you need to, although that might not be necessary. Just continue to stay weather aware. Bolingbroke, 12:49. 12:53 White Plains, 12:55 Butler, 12:59 Lizella, 104 here in Macon, 108 in Coopers, and 110 Fort Valley. These are the times in which the system will move on through, moving eastward at 60 miles per hour, about 60 miles per hour. And this, according to the chart, it will affect over 300,000 people. But right now, it does seem to just be lots of lightning, strong wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, moving 60 miles per hour, and it can be pretty strong. All right, just talking with my producers. I'm gonna see if you guys have any other questions for now. I know a lot of people probably aren't on at this time of night, but I can imagine some people are still wanting to be weather aware. Sarah says she's hearing thunder in Putnam County. Alicia says lightning and raining in Centerville. So yeah. All right, so let me get all this stuff off the radar so you guys can see what's going on. Eraser, there we go. Get my pointer back. All right, so this is what's going on. Just zooming out so you guys can see everything. This is a lot of thunder. A lot of thunder. I wish there was a way I can track it. I think there is a way. I'm not sure how to do it yet, but it's a lot. Just kind of looking at some of the other parameters here. All right, I think I'm just gonna kind of regroup. So widespread rain, showers, and lots of thunderstorms coming in from the west. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for portions of the 13 WMAZ viewing area, including Jasper County, Putnam County, Monroe County, Bibb, Crawford, Upson, and Macon County, all under that severe thunderstorm warnings. So be careful out there as the system moves from the west. Another danger zone associated with this system is the flooding that is possible. We have already seen upwards to 6 to 7 inches, according to the radar, in some spots. I mean, look at this. This is all that dark red color. And we see that dark red color on the radar and in terms of rain and in terms of the model runs. But when it comes to 24-hour rainfall totals, we don't see these dark colors that often. I mean, these dark colors, like, for example, closer to Thomaston, that's 7.3 inches of rain. Just north of LaGrange, 7.5 inches. That's over half a foot of just rainfall. and it's only going to collect more. We still got a lot of rain to go through. You guys saw the radar just a few moments ago. All right, let's take a look at the future view. I know you guys probably seen it 1,000 times now, but you can never do it too many times. Plus, the models do change about every hour. So it's good to keep looking at it to see what changes. Sometimes they change a little bit. Sometimes they go from 100% chance of rain to 0. We'll just see what happens. This is a situation that we are just taking hour by hour. You can see the rain coming in as we head into 2 a.m. Like I said earlier, it's going to surge southward. And like I said earlier as well, the potential for severe thunderstorms are there and could affect all of central Georgia as we head into tomorrow. This is 8 a.m. moving into 9 a.m. on your way to school in the morning. Be careful out there on the roadways. Monroe County schools are starting a little late. And if I'm not mistaken, Lamar County schools will be closed tomorrow. And Baldwin County schools start late Monday, if I'm not mistaken. This is 1 p.m. Monday. That front still over us, starting to clear out our northern counties in northern Georgia. By 7 p.m., it's out of our hair. Some lingering showers here and there, but overall, big difference than what we've been seeing all day today and majority of the day yesterday. Back to the radar. Zooming out a little bit. All right, let me see if you guys have any questions or concerns. Not too much going on right now. It's really just loud outside with all the thunder. No hail, no tornadoes, which is a pretty good thing, but the flash flooding is a serious concern. I know we don't think about it a lot, and I know that a lot of our counties, especially to our south, they probably have not even seen a drop of rain today. I'm gonna be honest. But we are taking this flash flooding situation very seriously as a big batch of rain moves through central Georgia. And I would consider that one of the main threats. So take it as you will. And then you guys don't seem to have any real questions or concerns. Someone asked what's it looking like in Jones County. Oh, we're starting to see that squall line move through. Similar situation going on with the majority of central Georgia. Let's see what the squall line is looking like now in terms of the track. It's hard to really identify where that squall line is just because some of it is a little bit disorganized. This system is moving 60 miles per hour. All right, so it could be affecting Rutland by 12:57, Milledgeville by 12:58, 109 Warrenton. It'll be in Sandersville by 1:30, Rennes by 1:43, Augusta 1:45, and Harrison by 1:49. So be careful out there on those roadways. I know most people aren't driving at night, but there are a few of us, me included, who can be driving pretty late at night, especially to and from work if you have a late shift. Here's one thing to note, and I'm actually going to do this myself while I'm here. Make sure you are charging your phones. Make sure they're all charged up, because one thing with a lot of lightning, power outages will be possible. I just put my phone in the charger. It's only at 34%. Hopefully by the time I get done, it'll be at 100. But you guys do that too, because the power can go out at any moment. Make sure all your devices are charged. If you have like those portable batteries, go ahead and charge those up just in case. Even if it's not your power that, runs out. If you know somebody, just be on the lookout for them. Let your whole family know, hey, we're in a situation where some severe thunderstorms are moving through. Let's make sure everything is charged up, from flashlights to generators. So make sure your generators are ready to flip on if we need it. For example, we have a generator here at the station, so if anything were to go out, I don't even think we will disconnect. The generators kind of pick up pretty quickly here. So we should still be able to continue coverage, but this wall line is right on our doorstep here in Bibb County. I haven't heard any lightning or thunder yet, but now that I think about it, we do have a camera outside, making Skycam. Let me pull that up. All right, now it is dark outside, so we will only be able to see so much, but I can imagine that we can see some rain. I'm sorry, not rain, but I can imagine we can see some lightning out there in the distance, right? It's coming from the north and west. So let's position the camera to do so. Let's see. Navicent Health Building. And we're going to move it westward. There's the lightning. Saw a couple flashes there, but I think it's more towards this way, yeah. Let's see if we can. Saw a few strikes there. I feel like it should be more westward, but I saw some lightning over there. Let me just keep going. I believe this is the direction that it would be in. There it is. Oh, wow. Did you guys see that? Okay. I was talking about. I knew I was in the right direction. Oh, wow. Just look at that. Lots of lightning. I hope that recorded. I don't know. We'll see. But that was some really large lightning strikes across central Georgia right now. Definitely want to be inside, and I can hear it now. So that was probably a good 10 miles away. All right, enough of the Skycam. I know it's cool, but we got to go back to the radar, the important stuff. All right, the radar, where are you? All right, so still got these warnings. Not too much to talk about. I'm just gonna let them play out and answer your questions if I see any. But yeah, that lightning strike, it did pick up pretty well. I mean, I can imagine it would be like a lightning show right now. I heard they had fireworks for the Cherry Blossom Festival. I'm glad that they went on ahead and did that before it ended, I guess, because we had lightning coming our way. I don't know, has a lightning strike ever, struck a firework? These are the things that keep me up at night. But it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning here in Monroe County, Lamar, Upson, and Crawford, it will end around 2. So we got about an hour. Alex Forbes, he'll be in soon. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk. So he'll be in about an hour or so. We'll just have to see. But overall, there just isn't much going on. I mean, there's lightning, there's thunder. I don't know about y'all, but lightning can be dangerous if you're outside. But indoors, lightning can just be, some loud sounds. One thing that I do want to mention, your pets. If you have dogs, maybe cats, they don't like the lightning. They don't like, I think they more don't like the thunder, the sound of the lightning. So make sure you cuddle with them. Make sure they're in the same room with you. Make sure they're indoors, definitely. It's dangerous for them to be outside right about now. There's so much lightning out here. And it's the lightning, the heavy rain, and the wind speeds that are sparking the severe thunderstorm warning. And that's something we typically don't see. And by that I mean, when we see lots of lightning and rain, that's normal, especially during the summer. But we typically don't prompt a severe thunderstorm warning until it meets one of two conditions: very, very strong wind speeds or a hail core. And like I mentioned before, and like I've kind of been mentioning all day, we see more hail with more instability, so with warmer temperatures. And while the temperatures are warm, they're not as warm as they were when the sun was out, right? Therefore, we're not going to see as much hail as we move overnight. But I can check the hail core. I mean, there might be some out there, but I don't, yeah, there's nothing out there. So just going back to the radar, where I'm going, there we go. But I think the reason that they prompted this warning was because of the lightning, but most importantly, the strong wind speeds, or wind gusts, I'm sorry, up to 60 miles per hour. Yep, Alicia says lightning can strike indoors as well. That is true for the most part. But there are some lightning safety tips that I do want to mention, and they just so happen to be right here at my fingertips. So for starters, there's the 30-30 lightning rule. When you see lightning, count the time until you hear thunder. 30 seconds or less, thunderstorm is close enough to be dangerous, seek shelter, and then wait 30 minutes or more after the lightning. Basically, I just heard lightning, or I'm sorry, I just heard thunder, right? I waited 30 seconds. We saw the thunder out on the live camera. Therefore, I'm not going to go out for 30 minutes. That's how simple that is. That might have been confusing, but that's how that works. And then I think I have more safety tips here. So, a few things. You also want to avoid bodies of water. I don't think anybody is outside swimming right now, and the thunder and the rain and the lake at 1 a.m. in the morning. But if you are, don't do that. That's very dangerous at the moment, unless you're in like Telfair County, in which case it's technically not dangerous. But if you want to do that at 1 a.m., I'm not going to stop you. You want to avoid trees and tall objects. Also, something that you probably don't have in your house, and you obviously shouldn't be outside. Most importantly, you want to avoid anything made of metal, especially inside your home. And then you also want to avoid like plugging things in while it's lightning outside. And you also want to avoid, believe it or not, taking showers. Yep, I have heard that is not good to do during a severe thunderstorm warning, or when we see a lot of lightning, per se. Brandon asked me if I don't go for a swim at 1 in the morning. I don't plan to at the moment. Maybe next week. We'll just have to see. Alicia says she stays up with caffeine and cat naps. That I am running on caffeine at the moment. I agree. Move the radar over some. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this weather, since we could be getting more people on in. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Greene, Morgan, Oconee, and Putnam County. Wind speeds and gusts up to 60 miles per hour headed eastward towards Hancock County. Lots of rain there in Jasper and Putnam County. No hail or tornadoes associated with that warning. But we are watching for some flash flooding Moving south and westward, Monroe County, Upson County, Lamar, Crawford, and Macon-Bibb County, you guys are also in this warning. Flash flooding, the main concern, not necessarily the potential for hail or tornadoes just yet. Right now, I'm not worried about any areas for tornado activity. I will say I have not checked in a while, but if there were an area, they would have mentioned it in the chat. But I can check again just to make sure. Not seeing any rotation there. These are really just straight line winds, and that's typically what we see with these squall lines, such as this one, which is why I'm not really worried about a tornado threat right now. And you guys shouldn't be right now either. But the National Weather Service is watching a lot of the many details of this system, because right now it is really just straight line winds and lightning and a typical thunderstorm without any type of significant damage associated with it. Back to the radar. I'm gonna let it loop. Checking the hail size one more time, nothing there. All right, I'm gonna go back to the radar, and what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna let it keep going, but I'm gonna see if we have any power outages being reported, because that's a lot of lightning out there, and the wind speeds are strong. All right, yeah, so no major power outages so far, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like there's an area sorry, I'm still looking at this. There's an area north and east of Thomason, south of Barnesville, with 196 customers without power. The estimated restoration time is at 1:45 a.m. And then towards Locust Grove, in that area, just east of the I-75 interstate, they have close to 500 customers without power, and that's until 2:45 a.m. Those, I think, are the major areas. Other than that, pretty nice that there isn't many people without power. I mean, there are a good bit of people without power, but nothing like what we saw earlier this morning. Before 10 o'clock, we saw people or customers, 6,000 customers without power, if not more, across central Georgia. Will the severe thunderstorm warnings extend into Jones County and so on and so forth? It's hard to tell. So far, they've just kind of been setting these warnings up ahead of the squall line, which makes sense. But typically, they're associated with hail and stronger winds. So the answer to your question, maybe, but more so, yes, I think they will start to extend these warnings more southward. Just because they've been doing it the past few hours, I don't see why they would stop all of a sudden. Rain is getting heavier in Warner Robins. Yep, this is just the start of things. Let's go ahead and check the sky cam in Macon. I think I need to turn the camera a little bit farther this way. I'm like, why is the camera so blurry? There's probably raindrops on it. That would make sense. I think I have the camera pointed the wrong way now. I'm gonna let it loop around. Huh. No lightning out there yet. I was just checking. I know you guys probably can't see the sky cam, but there's nothing out there. All right. Running out of things to talk about, realistically speaking, but I think I'm just gonna let these warnings play out. The National Weather Service is still getting reports of hail. Now, mind you, we're not seeing much hail right now. I want to make that clear. But they get reports from earlier in the day, and they're now just putting it into the system. They use those reports for like analytical purposes, like, you know, how much hail do we see a year? How many reports do we see a year? The same thing with tornadoes when they go out and survey the damage. They just like a collection of that. So if y'all, you know, want to report damage, storm damage, feel free to do that through the National Weather Service. Will this be an all-night thing? Unfortunately, I'm gonna show you guys the future view. And I've been kind of going with this particular model, kind of see where the rain continues into the early morning hours on Monday. This is 4 a.m., moving into 8, 9, 10, this is noon, and then 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m. I know you guys probably can't hear it, but it is pouring down outside where I am in the studio. But back to the model, it clears on out by as early as 7 o'clock, and it remains clear for the remainder, or I'm not gonna say the remainder of Tuesday. We're actually gonna see some more rain move in on Tuesday after we get into the afternoon. But we will clear out at least from Monday night into the early morning hours on Tuesday morning. Alicia says she may have noticed a little rotation. So I will say the eye can be very challenging in terms of the rotation because there can be a lot of, I don't even know how to describe this. There can be a lot of areas that look like they're rotating, but they're not. And even if they are, we get rotational systems all the time. We're looking for strong wind speeds within them, brighter colors, and damage signatures with them. And that's what the National Weather Service kind of keeps their eye out on. And I try to too, but they have more people. Right now, it's just me in the studio alone, talking to myself, or it feels like I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys. But I'm not seeing any rotation right now. Why do the storms always weaken as they come through Georgia? Well, I think it's just the the time and length of these systems. You know, they all form from somewhere, and Georgia being on the eastern coast, Georgia is typically the last to get the storms that either the majority of the United States saw or storms that formed in the middle of the U.S. So by the time they get to Georgia, they're typically the weakest, and then they run into the eastern coast or the Gulf of Mexico, and they just keep on going. And we also have the wedge. That's another big portion of why storms typically weaken. This isn't looping. Why isn't it looping? There it goes. Okay. But that's another reason that these systems start to weaken as they get closer to central Georgia, because we have something known as the wedge. It basically just brings in cooler air from the mountains off the eastern coast, and that weakens the storms. You know, like I've been saying all day, higher temperatures means more instability. More instability means thunderstorms. Therefore, if we have cooler temperatures, there isn't instability, and there isn't thunderstorms. So yeah. Kind of just watching these storms and not doing too much right now. Just a lot of lightning. All right, so I don't think too many people are joining on at this time of the morning, but if for some reason you are, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And by we, I mean Jasper County, Putnam County, Crawford County, Lamar County, Upson County, and Monroe County. There is not any hail associated with the system, and there is also no tornadoes associated with the systems, but we are still watching them and monitoring them because those wind speeds can be very strong. Wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour, and then there is also a lot of lightning associated with this system moving through the area. And these expire at about 2 a.m., the one associated with Crawford, Lamar, and Upson County. And then the one associated with Jasper County, 1:30, so 14 minutes from now. Unless they decide to end it early, which I doubt, but we'll see. I just pulled a chair up, so I'm not standing up this entire time. Kelly wants to know what's happening around 7 a.m. Sure. So this is 1 a.m., obviously. You can see it at the top of the screen. moving into 2 a.m. Still, majority of the rain looks to be in our northern counties. This is 4 a.m. And this is when the system starts to make its way southward. This is 6 a.m., a little bit more isolated, less widespread, but still there. This is 8, and this is 9. And I kind of mentioned this earlier. Don't kind of pinpoint exactly where the storms are. Pinpoint how much rain is out there, you know, because the storm that is being produced on this model to the west could be to the east, or it could be to the north. You know, it just, there's a lot of parameters at play that models aren't 100% accurate with. So anyway, my point was around, you said 7, 8, or 9. You will more than likely be seeing some rain, but your particular area could be gone. I'm gonna go back to the radar. Okay, so there is not much new going on right now, so I think I am going to just stop the live. You guys were, oh, my sound didn't go out. I just didn't have anything to say. I was looking at y'all's comments. My sleeves are rolled up, probably not as high as Ben. They were rolled up this morning. I think they just slowly unrolled themselves downward, so. Well, maybe my mic turned off. Is it? I think it's still on. Yeah, I had stopped talking for a little bit. I'm still here. But I am going to end live pretty soon. Just because there's nothing really attached to these severe thunderstorm warnings. It's just lightning. Now, if I see something that says tornado possible, if I see some hail start to form, I will let you guys know. But I think we're all just kind of waiting at the moment. So, yeah, exactly. What Ashley is saying, nothing eventful going on right now. I mean, it's rain and thunder and lightning. Just be indoors. You'll be fine. And, you know, continue to stay weather aware. If you need to, set an alarm, maybe an hour or so. Make sure you have a way to get those alerts. If you are under a tornado warning in your sleep, again, make sure your phone is charged so that you can get those alerts on your phone that are pretty loud and will wake you up. And just make sure you know where your family is, make sure you know where your pets are, so if anything were to happen, you can be alerted. But with that, I will be back if anything were to change. Alex will be in around 2, which is about 40 minutes away from now. I can imagine as soon as he gets here, he will update you guys once again. But if anything were to happen in between that, I'm gonna come back on, so. But fingers crossed, maybe, you know, I guess the hope is that we won't have to, right? So, all right, y'all have a good night.